Today we are making a Father's Day breakfast, and instead of the normal, eggs or the cereal or pancakes, we are making breakfast green enchiladas. This is my dad, Chris, and it's Sammy, and we are going to go ahead and use a rotisserie chicken, which has already been pre-cooked, so it's a lot easier, less time to cook. Some cheese, and that's our filler for the enchiladas. We are using the green sauce, and that is a
Las Palmas.
Las Palmas, and it's mild. It's not too spicy. We're using a half of the light sour cream to help make the sauce.
And we have some roasted green chilies. These we roasted on a barbecue prior and have them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and we just bring them out when we need them.
It's really good for sauces and adding extra flavor. And then for the last part, we're having the corn tortillas, and we're going to be lightly frying them, kind of, just barely dipping them in the oil just to make them a little bit more flexible when we roll them and get them set. So we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and make the sauce first, and then we'll move on to the filling in a little bit. All right, so we are going to get started. We're going to peel
the roasted peppers. And because they're roasted, the skin comes off really easy.
And what's cool about it too is the seeds are more of the spicy part. So if you want the sauce to be spicier, you just include all the seeds. If you don't want it to be spicy or as spicy, you just want the flavor, you can just, pull out all the seeds and use the actual pepper part. I'm going to open up the can. So we're going to add the New Mexican chilies that have been peeled into the blender. It's just a quick way to make your sauce so it's evenly distributed if you don't want your sauce to be chunky. So go ahead and we'll pour this good stuff.
Yeah.
He's the expert.
That way this can blend better.
All right. The top one, make sure it's on tightly. All right. So now we're going to add the rest of the sauce, just so it's easier to mix. Do you want to blend it for me?
That should be fine.
Perfect.
Good.
So now we're going to pour this into our big pot to go ahead and cook it, and we're going to put half of the sour cream inside the pot. So we're going to let it kind of cook on a low heat. Yeah. Pour the sauce in there. All right. And then you just take about half.
It's not a precise.
It's really not. It's more to taste, to be honest. So looks kind of like that. But we're going to go ahead and put on a low flame so it heats and gets evenly distributed. And while we do that, we'll make the filling. All right, so now we're going to make our filling. We're going to just pour the shredded cheese into bowls, and then we're going to shred our chicken and put it into a bowl. So here's our beautiful little chicken. And just go ahead and... There's no wrong way to shred a chicken. Alright, so after you've shredded your whole chicken, you've got a nice beautiful pile of little bits of chicken. And your cheese. So this is going to be your filling for the enchiladas. And now we're going to go ahead and dip some of the corn tortillas in the oil. so they aren't as brittle when we wrap them. And we're going to get to that right now. Corn tortillas. And you want to make sure that you have some tongs, because this does get hot and it could splatter. We're just waiting patiently. So to check and see when it's ready, you can toss a little piece of the tortilla in there. If it bubbles like that, then we are good to go. See, it dances around. So go ahead and get that out of there. All right, and you want to have a plate to the side ready with maybe like a paper towel so it can absorb some of the oil. And you're just going to take your tortilla. Just going to lay it in there. Just kind of want to move it around a little bit. And you don't want it to fry like a taco shell, because then it's too brittle and then it won't bend very easily at all. So you're just going to want to put it in there for a couple of seconds, and when it starts getting bubbly like that, you just use your tongs and you put it on the paper towel. So you're going to do about 10 of these. You just want to see it bubble like that. And it speaks to you. It says, sizzle, sizzle. I'm cooking. Flip it over. And it gets bubbly. This could splatter, so be careful and not to get burned. Just put it over there. Next one. And repeat. Okay, so now that we've prepped everything, you've got your tortillas that have been dipped a little bit in the oil, your sauce is done, we are going to go ahead and put it all together. So we have our little pan, and we're going to take our sauce. We're going to just do a couple spoonfuls just to put a good layer of it on the bottom. And I'll show you just a second. Just kind of push it around so it gets all the little corners. Alright, so it's going to look kind of like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to put a little...
Just a coat.
Yeah. Alright, so first thing you're going to do, you take your little corn tortilla, and we're going to do this very carefully. We're going to use this hand for the wet and this hand for all the dry ingredients, because you don't want to mix and match everything. So you're going to kind of dip it. You can use a spoon to kind of pour the sauce on it to cover everything. Like that. You're going to just kind of lay it in your pan. Just like that. You're going to take with this hand the little bit of the chicken. So you're going to kind of put it like that across the middle part. You're going to take the secret ingredient to Dad's enchiladas. Just like that. And then we're just going to do a little sprinkle of cheese in the middle. So it kind of looks like a little taco. And then we're just going to roll it up with your wet hand. Just kind of...
That's kind of a trick.
I know. It's a fancy trick. So now you have a rolled up green enchilada. Delicious. And so now, he will do one.
What I like to do when I do this is have the rolls near me, and then I use that to lay the new one on next to it.
Like a shelf.
Wow!
You can kind of squeeze them as close together as you can. That way you can pack them in there. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll. Some. It's fun cooking with you. I'm having a good time. We should do this every Father's Day. Make you cook breakfast on Father's Day.
Make me cook breakfast?
Uh-huh. The joy of cooking with the daughters on Father's Day. These are looking beautiful. Perfect. So now that it's completely packed, what we'll do is we'll put a little bit more sauce on top because the corn tortillas are like sponges and they like to absorb everything. So this keeps it nice and creamy, nice and flavorful. Just kind of put it on top. The yummy, yummy sauce. And then I'm going to have Dad sprinkle the rest of the chicken on top, almost kind of like a casserole. Because who doesn't love more chicken? Okay. And then I'm also going to have him sprinkle the rest of the cheese on top. And the cheese on top is a good indicator to know when it is done. We're going to put it in the oven, which we've already preheated. And when the cheese is melted, golden brown, it's good to go. Everything's already cooked. You're only putting it in the oven to melt everything and make it all go together. So it's going to be yummy, creamy, cheesy, full of flavor, full of love for Father's Day. And so this is what the end product is going to end up looking like. Just a glorious pile of deliciousness and creaminess and tastiness. All right, so now we're going to go and stick it in the oven. Probably about 20-25 minutes. We're pulling it out of the oven because it's nice and toasty. Okay, so it's done. And as you can see, the cheese is nicely melted. It's nice and golden browned. And what we're going to do is we're going to serve it up. Just going to go ahead and kind of cut around there.
Kind of a trick. Just kind of dig in.
So what's good about these is you can eat them at any time of the day, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They go really well with mostly anything. I just kind of plop it on the plate.
Good job.
Thank you. And you get some of the extra sauce on top. But my dad for breakfast really likes to eat his enchiladas this way. With a little fried egg on top. So now all we need is a fork and a knife. We're good to go. And what's good about this too is it's got kind of a kick to it with the sauce that we made. But if it's not spicy enough for some of you, spicy lovers, check out our black sauce recipe on the following links, and it can heat it up a little bit more. And then if you guys have any other recommendations for us, if you want to see me prepare something, go ahead and leave it below in the comments part, and we'll do our best to try and, make those requests happen. And then if you can guess what the secret ingredient was to Papa's enchiladas, we'll go ahead and give you a special can of beans. So check us out, like us, and you know what? We hope we can bring you many more happy meals, and happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, this looks really hot.
It's, yeah. It's very hot.
What a wonderful-
Okay, we'll go eat. Oh. Good?
Excellent.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We make a good team together. Mwah.
Thank you.
You made the fried egg.
I presented it.
Okay,
We're done?